Hare Krishna everyone, with Jagannath RathYatra coming up, today I'll be explaining the appearance of Lord Jagannath part 1, which is up until Vishwavasu agrees to take Vidyapati. So before the actual pastime, I'll first discuss why the Lord appeared as Jagannath. So Lord Jagannath is the ecstatic manifestation of Krishna, embodying his deep feelings of separation from Radha and the residents of Vrindavan. The deity was first worshipped as Nila Madhava and later appeared as Jagannath to fulfill the desires of his devotees, including King Indradyumna and Narad Muni. Srila Prabhupada explains that the appearance of the Lord is like the sun, because the sun is never born and the sun never dies. It simply rises and sets, similar to how the Lord appears then disappears. And although Krishna is absolute and transcendental to material nature, to accept the loving service of his devotees, he appears before us as the deity in the temple. Lord Jagannath's form represents Mahabhava, which is the highest ecstasy and grants liberation to those who worship him with love. So, really quick, to understand the appearance of Lord Jagannath, it's important to understand the deity of Lord Nila Madhava. So, when Brahma was given the task of creating the material world, he questioned its purpose because all beings are subjected to the 7 types of suffering: birth, old age, disease, death, adhyatmic, adidevic, and adibhautic sufferings, which is suffering caused by oneself, suffering caused by nature, and suffering caused by others. And to find an answer to this, he approached Lord Vishnu and asked if there was any place on this earth that was free from suffering, where the living beings could attain happiness and liberation, because this material world is filled with suffering. So Brahma wanted to know, is there a place where there is happiness? So Lord Vishnu then revealed the Purushottam Kshetra, which is modern day Jagannath Puri, which there specifically Nilachal, which was a beautiful mountain where the deity of Nila Madhava and Lakshmi resided. He explained that anyone who takes darshan of Nila Madhava and worships him with love and devotion can attain liberation in one lifetime. Brahma then traveled to this sacred place and saw a Kalpa Vriksha tree near Rohini Kund. He then attempted to drink some water from it as he witnessed a sinful crow who was just flying by, who came for some water, and just as the crow touched the water, it instantly transformed into a 4-handed Vishnuduta before and ascending to Krishna's abode. This then confirmed the immense spiritual power of Nila Madhava. Nila Madhava then instructed Brahma that when Brahma turns 50, which is equivalent to trillions of our years, the deity would disappear from earth. So Brahma was to assist King Indradyumna, as the Lord would then manifest in a new form, which then begins the story. So in Satya Yuga, there was once a king named Indradyumna, who was a great devotee of the Lord, and he was very eager to meet him face to face. The king used to host travelers, especially pilgrims, from holy sites in India. At his palace, one day a group of pilgrims who had visited the deity of Nila Madhava came, and they were discussing the deity's glories. The devotee overheard them and informed the king's minister, who then told the king about Nila Madhava's beauty and spiritual significance. The minister explained that seeing the deity grants liberation. The king wondered how he could see Nila Madhava and where exactly the deity was located, because he really wanted to take worship. He wanted to ask the pilgrims, but then he was disappointed to find that they had already left during the night. But however, he was still determined, so he sent different brahmanas to different sides of India to search and inquire about Lord Nila Madhava. After 3 months, all the brahmanas came back hopeless, except for one priest named Vidyapati, who didn't come back. Because while Vidyapati was wandering, he came across a beautiful village by the ocean, which was surrounded by flower-covered mountains and inhabited by all types of people. As the evening approached, he needed a place to stay, and the villagers directed him to Vishwavasu, who was a respected, religious-minded leader of the Sabra communities, and whenever guests would come, they would always go and stay at his house. When Vidyapati arrived, Vishwavasu was not at home. However, his daughter Lalita was there, and she asked him to wait outside until her father returned. Later, Vishwavasu arrived, and he came with this unique fragrance. He welcomed Vidyapati and apologized for his delay and invited him to stay. Throughout his stay, Vidyapati noticed an enchanting fragrance all around the house, particularly when Vishavasu was present. Vishavasu then stayed there for some time, and he soon married Vidyapati stayed there for some time, and he married Vishavasu's daughter Lalita. While Vidyapati lived in their house, he noticed something strange about his host, Vishavasu. Every night, he would go out, and the next day at about noon, he would return from the house scented with various fragrances such as musks and sandalwood. Vidyapati inquired from his wife, Lalita, what the reason for this is, and Lalita initially hesitated because her father had forbidden her to tell anyone. However, Vidyapati insisted because now he was her husband, and he promised not to tell anyone. So then Lalita revealed that her father went to worship the deity of Nila Madhava. Vidyapati, after hearing this, was overjoyed because he realized that he finally found a hint to where Nila Madhava was. He then asked her to convince her father to take him along to the next visit, and she agreed to help him. Vishavasu, however, originally hesitated to take Vidyapati to Nila Madhava because he feared that the deity might be taken away or vanish. That's why he hasn't told anyone about Nila Madhava, because he wanted to worship Nila Madhava just for himself. However, seeing her father's reluctance, Lalita then threatened to take poison, declaring that if he refused, it would mean that he did not truly love her. And this forced Vishavasu, and he made him feel trapped, so he decided to grant her request. However, Vishavasu had one condition. Vidyapati would have to be blindfolded on the way to Nila Madhava. Only upon the arrival would the blindfold be removed for him to see the deity, and afterwards he would have to put the blindfold off and go back. So he can never go to see Nila Madhava on his own, and he can't tell any location of Nila Madhava. So that's it for part 1 of the appearance of Lord Jagannath. Thank you everyone so much for listening. And part 2 will explain the appearance of Lord Jagannath from when Vishavasu starts the journey with Vidyapati. Because now Vishavasu agreed, so now Vidyapati will be able to take the blessings of Nila Madhava. And additionally, everyone, please join us to celebrate Jagannath RathYatra this Saturday, March 1st, from 10:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. at Indian School Park. It would be a wonderful opportunity to receive the mercy of Lord Jagannath and experience his boundless love. Hare Krishna.